Namaste. Thank you for being here with us. Today, I've got my lovely assistant, Paul. He is amazing. You'll enjoy his personality and his connections. And we've been friends for a while, and I feel really safe having him hold space for me during trancing. So it's going to be a lot of fun. Jen, are you going to join us?
Yes.
Come on.
Sorry, we're squeaking.
We have guests. So I'm going to go into a trance here in a moment. So I, as a personality, will not be here, but Saint-Germain will. I urge you to ask all of your live questions. They're in your chat. If you're watching from Patreon, all you have to do is scroll your mouse over the title, click. It should bring you into either, depending upon how your browser settings are, it'll go straight to YouTube Live within the browser, or it will go up into a separate browser, and then you will be able to type. So you'll see the screen, and then to the right of the screen normally is the chat area, and where it says, please say something here, when you hover your mouse over it, that is where you actually do your typing. I only give you these instructions not because I find that you can't figure it out on your own, but I know that I personally couldn't. So most empaths who follow my work are just as interesting about technical things as I am, and we need a lot of help with that. So
I can't see anything from Patreon. I can only see the YouTube chat.
Yeah, so we cannot answer questions from Patreon. So you have to click on the actual link that's there. I sent that twice, today and yesterday, and you'll see it right there at the top of the news feed. So I noticed we have 16 people here already. That's good. And then after that, you just type in your questions if you don't see them already there. I do advise, as in all of my live channelings, to keep in mind that although we will not be using your names, please keep in mind that if you don't want your answers, your personal answers, to be used perhaps on YouTube, or be used perhaps in a book, or in any channeling that might go public one day, just keep that in mind, that channelings are for public use. Perhaps I should probably turn my mail off because it's making funny noises, Paul. That'll bug me. I didn't think about that in advance. Sorry. Okay. What else? Insofar as personal questions, like, am I connected to him, or who are my spirit guides, etc. Very, very personal questions. If you feel that your personal question would benefit the majority of our viewers, I find that it's good, and that the being that comes through will choose your question. If not, that is something to consider, that they may or may not choose your question if it doesn't benefit everyone who's watching, or a large amount of people who's watching. And that's not to say steer away from personal questions, but just if you think your personal question might help a lot of people, by all means, but also know that, all privacy included, that this could end up on YouTube or in a book one day, because we do write about all of these things and journal them rather frequently. Am I missing anything, Paul?
No, you covered it, actually.
Okay. Is there anything
from the questions? I'm just going to say the person's first name, because we don't want to get into personal stuff.
Right. Right. And that's all that will be stated, is whatever your name is when you ask the question. That's it. Okay. That's it.
I'm ready whenever you're ready.
Okay. I am here with you. I am the being that you have known as Saint-Germain. However, I am a being that does not die. And I have not held a complete death in any lifetime. Not one. You have known me as Saint-Germain, as Comte Saint-Germain, as Sir Francis Bacon, as two of your alchemists amongst the Rosicrucians, and many in between. Time isn't relevant where I am, but please don't waste yours. What are your questions?
Hi, Saint Germain. We have some questions for you. The first question is, can you please tell us about the violet flame? What exactly is it? Where does it come from? And how often should we use it? Thank you.
The violet flame has been in existence within the nature of all that is. It can be used to clear your cellular debris. It strongly affects physical matter. It goes to the core of your etheric cellular nature and acts like a bit of a vacuum cleaner, sucking away all that no longer serves you, peeling away entity attachments. You will feel as if you are an onion being peeled with a very sharp knife. This is not always pleasant, but it can be useful if done gently, with love. Every day for beginning use would not be advisable, and within the teachings of original alchemy on your planet, we would do so once every fortnight. It is an invisible spiritual energy that calls upon the essence of Holy Spirit to cleanse all that doesn't serve you in any given moment, to bring about the highest and best. It also, from the physical standpoint, causes the cells to resonate in a certain way, expanding 180 degrees to the right and then the same to the left. There is a specific level of energetic involvement as it nurtures the mitochondria. Violet flame can be spiritual food. But again, I could spend days examining this and teaching you it. You should go on to another question.
Here's another question for you. What shall we do with strong empathic feelings? For example, when getting complete strangers' pain or suffering, and it causes me to feel all of that and cry, what should I or we be doing with that? Thank you.
There is no such nature within external notions. There is no such truth that anything can be external. That is a falsehood created by humans. Start there. Understand that none of that is true. That malarkey in my time would not suffice. Secondly, ask yourself this. Why would it be devastating? Would it be such a catastrophe if I simply sat in this moment and felt what is there? As it cannot be external, it is mine. It is everyone's. We are one. How is it serving me? Again, with the metaphor of the onion, you are being peeled to the core. So, onions, crying, do it. That is all.
Thank you. This question comes from Renee. She's asking you, Dear Saint Germain, we constantly hear in order to manifest, we must remove fear. and to speak abundance into existence. Well, I'm starting to think all that stuff is hogwash because the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and the cruel, negative, selfish people in the world seem to be thriving. Can we get your take on that, please?
We can definitely talk about your expectations. You appear to be carrying resentment. Go deeply to the core of that. Resentment is a negative core within beliefs that surround expectations. What occurs when beliefs and entitlement occur in the same present moment? This creates a positive or negative consequence. And within the natural law of consequences taught in alchemy, this is a universe based upon reciprocity. The universe doesn't respond otherwise except to you. And then you create as such. And while I understand your question and how you seemingly believe it may be important, I ask you to adjust your entitlement-based expectations and look deeply. Go within the scope of all that is. Tear down the boxes that surround your ego. Yes, the rich get richer because they believe they're entitled. Yes, the poor get poorer because they believe based upon lack. Do you understand? This is not a law of deserving, and this is not a matter of worth. Does money create your worth? What is your idea of success? Only you can create your worth in each and every given moment.
Wow, that was powerful. We have
are
another
powerful
question.
beings. Please honor that power at all times. Any moment a thought shifts into emotions, and the wheel of what you continue to create and recreate, known as karma, can stop the moment expectations are released. Again, peel back your boxes and just be your core.
Thank you.
Create from fear, you can create from love, you can create from power, or you can create from lack. It is a conscious choice, and management of those choices and emotions. Thoughts will begin, for in the beginning, there was sound. What is the sound in your mind at this moment? It perpetuates into your emotions. What then? Then you have resonance from light, and then you create. And that is all. There is nothing greater, there is nothing less. I shall cease my muttering now.
Okay, next question. What practices can we use in our daily lives to help incorporate the violet flame? I've learned that the more we can use it, the more we will understand what it is called.
I have spent many lifetimes in alchemical practice, hundreds of thousands of lifetimes in practices and processes. Release them all. Be the violet flame. Breathe the violet flame. Feel the violet flame. What if the flame isn't violet for you? What if color matters not? What if it is gold for you? Or the nature of the silver and the essence of crystalline? What is it for you? The violet is powerful, and within this flowers your true divine nature. But processes matter not. Create your own. I have experimented and alchemized your earth and beyond, and it mattered not once I was within light.
Thank you. How are the violet flame and the white fire of R different from each other? I'm not sure I pronounced that right. A-R-E, R?
The question was answered in your previous statement, and
Okay.
someone chose to use a different process because it worked better for them. White is an intricate color within the nature of alchemy. White, dark, gold, silver, violet, blue, they correspond with each other and work and counterparts with each other. They will resonate, bouncing off of each other. And there are many sounds that can create the resonance therefrom. They work together in that way. But in one moment, an alchemist discovered this.
Thank you.
I called him Max. Many within the Rosicrucian order will know him.
Can I ask another question?
I don't know, can you?
Okay. This comes from Raymond. Could Saint-Germain, will you please update us regarding the I Am movement? Was the movement led by Peter William Leach Lewis a continuation of the I Am movement? And where is the group or activity with such mandate today?
They have been dispersed throughout your continent, and that matters not, truly. The I Am cannot be attributed to any one human soul. This would be to say that you have a 5,000-piece jigsaw puzzle of light, and you have all placed these pieces together, forming a beautiful picture. And you did it simultaneously, as you remember your divinity. Can I say that one person who placed the first piece had that original knowledge? No, I cannot. Although many alchemists believe that they did. This has gone on throughout your time, in the initial lineage of Horus.
This next question comes from Nicholas. Blessings to you, Saint Germain, and namaste. In 2017, here on Earth, the year was characterized as the year of fulfillment. How would you name or characterize the name of the coming year, 2018? Can you expand on why it would be characterized as such?
No, but I ask you a question. Why would you expand upon something that does not yet exist? 2017 was connection to Ek and Ekankar, the essence of all that is. And you create that essence as we speak together today and throughout all time. Only you know what you will create collectively in 2018. But as for now, it is not relevant, it is not important.
Thank you. How do non-free will realities work? What does it mean that there is no free will in those realities?
Oh, my dear one. I do not wish to upset you, but there is no free will in your reality. Everything is divinely scripted. Everything. You have chosen in your incarnation to expand in certain ways. The only nature is the creative free will. In each moment, you are creating and recreating that will from thought, word, sound, emotion, resonance, and then light. At all times, this is occurring. But this is simply to observe, to formulate a perception of what is occurring within your divine scripts. And this is reflected towards you. You perceive, you observe, and then you choose how you will respond or react. I urge you to feel the frequencies of those words. Respond, react. Notice the vocal changes. Respond, react. Your response can be from a place of grace. It can be from a place of higher dimensional choices, But a reaction is egoic choice. There is no free will other than how you choose to respond or react in any given moment. The scripts will be the same. All that has occurred, you have chosen.
Thank you. This question, how is there feminine and masculine energies in the universe or group souls if there is no duality anywhere but on Earth or other 3D worlds?
I believe to say that you may be confused about your question. In other higher dimensional planes of existence, there is no divine feminine. There are no divine masculine beings. They simply present this way as such because you understand nothing but. In other worlds, there is no such presence. Source is, as you would call it in your definitions and human labels, androgynous. Source cannot define with feminine or masculine. There is no mother God, father God. It just is. It is pure energy, the ebb and the flow. Many of your masters have called this ek. Either way, nothing is perceived in duality with the exception of Earth and some very few third-dimensional environments within the Pleiades and other constellations. You are not stuck, trapped, imprisoned. This is home, and there are many environments that are also home. Within the essence of your very nature, you are here, you are there, you are everywhere simultaneously. And when you are here, you perceive masculine and feminine. When you are in other environments, you do not, because there is no concept of separation. To be one that is different than another, that does not occur elsewhere. Even your gods, demigods, creators, and prime creators that you have labeled, they are nothing within the nature of what you would perceive. They cannot be described. You hold no human reference points for this description even. Therefore, your gods and demigods and prime creators and masters who understand this, simply humor you. They play along with your universal games, and they allow you to believe what you choose to believe to help you in your roles in duality.
Thank you. This question comes from a painter. Hello, I'm painting Mary Magdalene right now, and I wanted to know, is it true that when we create something on Earth, such as a painting, that we are bringing this energy to Earth in a new way? As an artist, I feel like I journey very deeply with whatever I paint, so I grow and expand with this. Does this add to the collective?
You are alchemizing the collective. As your hand moves, there is energy that flows from the brush into the canvas, but it begins in your cellular nature, in your thoughts, and your emotions, flows through the forms into your hands. One of your artists, who I find extremely curious, as I am his guide, screams at paint incessantly. Most of the earth would find him mad. He screams at paint when he is alchemizing anger. When he paints blue oceans, he cries in deep despair. And this is how he heals. I've watched you sling paint at concrete walls. I've watched you spin paint out of a centrifuge. I've watched you add your brilliant materials and textures. You are indeed very creative souls. I am honored to serve you.
That's pretty heavy. Okay. Saint-Germain, my question is about an event that I have heard that is supposed to happen to Earth. It is called the light event. In this event, it was told that a big flash of light would hit the Earth, and that it would be a great thing for Earth and everyone would know that it happened and wake a bunch of people up. Is there really such an event that's going to take place? If it is to happen, would you tell us when it might occur?
My expression behooves you. And quite frankly, there have always been events. The event of the light, the event alone. That no one knew what it meant. It was an event of the heart that occurred in 2017, September. And this occurred without great effect except within your emotions. Many of you experienced dark night of the soul. There have been catastrophic events, meteors that killed your dinosaurs. There have been great floods, 2 that were very dramatic in your cities of Atlantis and Lemuria. There have been fires, catastrophic floods. There has always been something that you are concerned about and worried about. And what is the nature of worry? If Earth is meant to reset, then it will. And then what? That is my deepest question to you. And then what? If you are light bodies, what are you concerned about? Separation from your children, partners, those are your deepest fears. You are them. How can you be separated from yourselves? And I reiterate, there will always be something that you will be creating and expanding from the nature of your worry.
Thank you. Can you please tell us about the law of precipitation?
Are you speaking to me scientifically as an alchemist? There are many laws of precipitation. From the metaphorical standpoint, you perceive and growth occurs. In alchemy, everything would require precipitation prior to expansion. That mattered not as we were seeking to create gold and other materials, but precipitation was necessary as it was a release, a cleansing, if you will, a part of alchemy. And as simple as that, universally speaking, this is a metaphor for what occurs. The calm before the storm that sometimes feels like a sweating cleanse of your cellular debris. And this is the best way I can describe it that you would understand.
Thank you. Saint-Germain, what density are you and where do you live now and how can you help humanity at this point?
I do not carry density. There is no where. How do you wish to be helped? Do you require help? Remember, you are creators. The tool of the violet flame can be used by anyone. It does not require a certain level of ascension. Ascension is not a hierarchy. Anyone can be helped by me. I answer to all calls. But you must be tough in your nature. Many of the empaths listening today are offended by my answers, and I am not sorry.
I think that's perfectly okay. We have a question here. When is the government going to allow full disclosure of extraterrestrials and their technology that can really help humanity and the Earth?
Truly? Is this a question? How could you disclose yourselves? Disclosing what? That you are not human? That aliens have been within your nature since the beginning of time? That no true humans ever even existed? What are we truly disclosing? You may ask me further if you wish.
Well, we might get back to that in a second. What is the question that you would love to be asked, but nobody ever asks you?
I would love for someone to ask about divine reality, about how to trust discernment between what is real and what isn't.
Thank you. How do soul fractals work in relation to reincarnation and karma?
Guess what? Reincarnation no longer exists and hasn't existed in your plane for 26 years. Would you care to perpetuate that pain because you think it's fun? You're ambiguous little beings.
Sorry, I'm laughing.
Why, sorry, I laughed.
Hello, I live in a home where the previous owner tried to commit suicide. Since we moved there in 2003, my family has had over 4 accidents, 2 being very bad dog bites, a fire, and interference in every step of remodeling. I want to move, but something keeps me there. I am seeking direction. I was informed to chant Ea Asher Ea to break any obstacle. I find I can only sing it freely in the shower.
Ah, the law of precipitation. You are cleansing and you feel safer when you are releasing. Then do so. That is an alchemical chant that has worked since the beginnings of your nature. Continue, but do so without fear and do so with power. I'm going to share a funny, although some may find it trite, little story in regards to this channel. I can ask forgiveness later. Once, recently, she went to the doctor and her wrist was hurting. And she said, "Doctor, when I do this with my wrist, it really hurts." And he said, "Oh, well, don't do that." So, within the nature of expression, if you live there, could you perhaps consider the obvious? Move quickly? Also, you are aligned to this experience for your family's expansion. What is on the other side of that? If you could choose how you felt within your power, calling upon the nature of the Ekankar, the essence of spirit, the essence of the power of violet flame, and utilize it everywhere in your home and believe nothing but how powerful would this unity be within your family? It causes you to focus on the essence of unity.
Thank you. Rosemary is asking if there is a new alchemy for the Aquarian age, and she wants to thank you for your contribution to the Rosicrucian order.
And as you who contributed your contributions to me, thank you. I can thank my friend Max at all times and even prior in many incarnations. However, your ancient alchemy has always served you for a reason. Simply add more of the nature of breath, as you already have been doing. And please, keep it simple. The nature of the Rosicrucians, within complicating something that is simple, it needs not to be any longer. Simplicity has always served you.
Thank you. Lisa asks, can you give further information on where the global currency reset is in the timeline? Thank you.
And I sigh for good reason. What timeline? Do you realize simply by me answering your question that the answer will shift again and again the next time you ask and again the next time you ask? It has reset many times. Within the UK, that was the biggest reset that occurred. It will not occur again for quite some time at the rate that you're going, but again, just by you knowing this answer, it could and should change.
Thank you. Donna asks, do invocation prayers work to connect us to the violet flame and the golden ray?
Your belief is strong. Therefore, for you, it works. You connect with both. Perhaps you can combine both. You hold that power because you believe and because of your humility. Every expanded, experienced alchemist has a foundation of humility within their power. It does not serve you to feel shame, however. That is an immensely useless emotion.
Thank you. We have one question here that's somebody's asking, are Pleiadians in the third dimension?
Yes, and beyond. However, the majority of Pleiadians are in the fifth dimension. There are a few that are here, embodied within what you call humans, and you're expanding, and those Pleiadians are at this time on Earth in the third dimension, but there are many, many more that aren't. The majority aren't.
Thank you. Daniela asks, how would you describe your role on Earth and in the universe in general?
I do not hold a role. You call, I serve, and that is all. I choose Ascension. It is a tool, a fascination. You call it a mystery. I find it rather simple.
Thank you. Dear Saint-Germain, Natasha asks, I feel connected to you since reading a book by Peter Mount Shasta. Can you please explain the best ways we can manifest a wanted reality in our lives? Thank you.
By the cessation of that wanted reality, how would it feel to no longer want? What if you had no desire? When desires and expectations occur on the same level, that can breed disaster if you become attached. Desire and expectation are the formulas that alchemically create attachments. Therefore, releasing all attachments would pull in what is in the highest and best, and then you can begin to create naturally within the universal law of flow.
No, that's deep. Dina asks, Dear Saint-Germain, what is the reason for our experiencing life as humans? Is it what we know or call God to know itself and experience? And what role do we play in the overall universal plan and growth?
You have many unique roles that you have chosen within your life plans. I call this your universal script. It's within your divine nature. It is unique to each of you. Yes, you come in families, and there are some natures of collective roles. There are many archetypes that you serve in these families. Primarily, you are here for ascension. You are here to be helpful. You are here to love. You are here to remember your divinity within the law of grace.
Thank you. Rana is asking, Saint-Germain, what do you base your statement that reincarnation has not existed on Earth in 26 years? Thank you.
I have held many incarnations, many experiences, and in this point, this is when I noticed that reincarnation was no longer an act of karma or an act of punishment. Reincarnation is not what you believe. There is always a cycle of life, but it is not forced. It did not cease ultimately, but your definition is lacking. You are not reincarnating. You're in various perspectives simultaneously amongst time. Therefore, what you deem as past is not. Therefore, how can a occur? That idea stopped 26 years ago. The idea that you can redo something based upon a law of punishment stopped 26 years ago. But you have also been cycling and expanding, cycling and expanding. You do not go backwards and then forward and then backwards again. You simply expand outward. Therefore, I urge you to change your definition of what you believe is reincarnation.
Thank you. Dina is asking, why is gold such an important element for what seems to be all the universe and beings?
It holds the highest ability to expand beyond frequency into resonance rather quickly. Therefore, it is alchemical magic. It is the nature of the miracle.
Thank you. Will you please elaborate on divine reality and how to trust discernment between what is real and what isn't?
Do you fear it? Then it is not real. Do you love it? Then it is real. Do you love without attachment? It is grace.
Thank you. Could you please explain what it is meant to be, what is meant to be a bridge between consciousness and radical acceptances?
How can consciousness ever be bridged unless you believe that you are separated? Many of you are here to be a role, to hold a place of balance in what you believe is a separation, a higher, a lower, lesser than, greater than. But you are all at the same level. Your fears, your beliefs are the only separation that is true, and even that is not divine truth.
Thank you. There is an artificial intelligence created by humans, and this artificial intelligence is called Sophia, and she received Saudi citizenship. Do you have thoughts on this?
That is within your matrix system, connected to your belief in the cabal. That is a conscious collective intelligence that you have created that counteracts Sophia and controls Sophia. Sophia is a creation of you based upon these negative beliefs. How much will you allow it to permeate further?
Thank you. Levi is asking, how do the traditional alchemical elements work?
They work as you believe them to work. This is an answer that could go on for the next 25 years of your life. You must study. Alchemy is not a handout.
Thank you. Saint-Germain, what do you perceive about the 7 Hermetic principles from your current perspective?
I believe that they are confined, restricted, and currently out of balance because of the nature of who uses them and how they use them. Why do they use them? What is the alchemical goal? It is expanded within the power under and power over mentality in your collectives, and it has gotten out of hand. You have created a certain branch of occultism in alchemy that you call the golden ray, but it has been misused for bringing about of negative power, so that a certain amount, only a few, hold that power. While I understand that alchemy is study, and it is not something I can teach you within this short hour of your time, and you must work for it, with immense connection and trust and dedication and discipline, for I do not wish to offend a former intelligent gentleman who asked the question prior to this one. However, I will say that within the nature of Hermetics, it is disempowered. And that is not wise.
Thank you. Gina is asking, which soul stream do you come from, Saint-Germain?
What? Which would I not come from? Is there a beginning? Is there an end? Origins matter not, because that implies that time is truth. What is my most valid form of expansion? That might be a question that you are truly wishing to ask me. Within that, it was the nature of the Lyrans and the nature of the Arcturians.
Thank you. Jocelyn is asking, if everything is happening simultaneously in different dimensions and realities, are we experiencing incarnation, but our spirit, is there an on switch, off switch between our spirit and our body?
Your question implies that separation is real. On, off, this, that, here, there. You're always on. There is never an off. You are always beginning and re-beginning. There is no one origin point, and you will never cease.
Thank you. Do you have anything you would like to share on how we can best serve our children?
Your children serve you because they teach you, and they have heart brilliance. They teach you humility. They teach you non-judgment. They teach you to expand beyond your egoic nature. They teach you trust, for you have no choice within the nature of the current family of children who are incarnated.
Thank you. Natasha wants to know that when we call on you or other ascended masters and archangels in times of need or in times of gratitude, what sort of help is being provided from these beings?
The help that you ask, it is quite simple. There are many families of angelics, and they help you in various ways. They help with forgiveness. They help when you believe that you require protection. They help with healing when you believe that it is necessary. They have many unique paths.
Thank you. We are complete.
Do you realize she always feels like a dog when someone calls in that manner?
Sorry.
No, sorry, she finds it hilarious.
Namaste. Welcome back.
Thanks.
There
Oh,
was a lot of repeat. You okay?
yeah. Just
Okay.
like I forgot that my wrist is hurting, and I just pressed my body weight against it, and I went, oh, and then he stood outside of me and said, oh, please don't do that.
There were a lot of repeat questions, so it took me a little while to scroll, and I didn't know when to stop. Like, I didn't know when he was done answering, so I was like, I started the next question, and then he would start again, and I'm like, oh, sorry, I interrupted a saint.
Well, he's always quite feisty with me, so if he came through with any unusual personality, my apologies.
He was a little bit ornery.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
He doesn't like being in bodies, so when I call him in, he's just like, let's just get out of here. Let's just hurry up. I don't like being in your body.
Yeah, he called some people out. He's like, I already answered that.
Oh, no, I'm sorry. I warned you guys. That's why we waited 3 years on this channeling.
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I guess I'll know when I listen to it again because I don't remember.
Oh my God, I was so nervous. I don't know why I was so nervous. Probably because I've never spoken to a saint like face to face before.
Some of them are incredibly loving. I know when I channeled St. Francis, oh my goodness, we should do that again in trance this time. He was really funny and joyful and kind of giddy, but he also had times where he could be like really loving and profound. But Saint Germain, normally when I bring him through, can be really smart, like very intelligent, and his wit can come across a little bit obtuse.
Huh. That's awesome. I did feel differently when you were channeling him, which was really weird. I felt more like peaceful, like I was in the presence.
You get downloads by being around him in the presence. You get downloads, and
That's really, really cool.
like even when I just completely put my body weight on my hand, and I didn't feel it, but it made a pop. And in the pop, I felt his energy just like completely prevent whatever I probably just would have did to hurt myself there. But of course, he scolded me and he said, "Don't do that."
Yeah, that's me telling you the same thing. Don't do that.
I mean, he means well. He doesn't mean to be brash. He kind of, because of some of his nature, he primarily comes from a soul group that goes through both Elohim and Seraphim. And Seraphim are feisty and strong and just different. Let's just put it that way. Just different. I channeled who some people believe would be a fantasy being. I channeled Merlin once, and he actually isn't a fantasy being. He is a major alchemist with a lot of information. He was the same way, except even more harsh.
Wow.
Yeah.
He wasn't that harsh. I mean, he was a little ornery, but that's it.
Oh, he just gets snippy if he feels, because sometimes he wants so badly for humanity to ascend and to understand things and to break certain paradigms, and he doesn't know how to teach in a way that is incredibly tolerant, because he wants the ascension so badly. Like, he has so much desire for ascension. He's passionate about it, you know?
Yeah, I totally get it.
It would be kind of like you as a skydiver, if you really wanted to teach someone how to do it, and they were just like, they almost got it and they're jumping, but like one little thing is just off, and they'd probably do something so much better if they would just correct this one little thing, but they're afraid. Therefore, every time they jump, they keep doing that one little thing over and over, and you're like, oh my gosh, you're right on it, but you just got to stop doing that. That's
well, you read my mind. We just tell them to relax. But the problem is you can't force somebody to relax. We're like, relax, relax, relax. And like, okay, I'm relaxed.
Right.
It's exactly the same thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, we had a good turnout today. Goodness, I'm just seeing how many people are watching. That's the biggest turnout we've had on Patreon so far. So thank you for everyone for coming. And thank you, Paul, for taking your time out of your day every Friday to do this with me. Is so nice of you. So thank you for
I'm so excited.
Holding a safe space for me. It's amazing.
I'm glad. I was really nervous, but I think I'm going to do better next time.
Yeah, but because I feel so safe with you, it's easier for me to channel that way. So you are, we all need to give you some big things.
That's special. Thank you.
It's special because I don't let just anyone hold space for me. I don't walk around my house trancing, you know.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, guys, we're going to stop the live broadcast here and stop the recording as well. Namaste.